to 00:00, but there is no story tonight. Tonight is just hanging out, chit chat with me and ARealGirl herself, talking about what kind of direction we might go with the live stream from here on out, and the podcast for that matter, because things are getting a little bit maxed out. I don't know if you can look into my eye, Hudson. You look into my eye, I'm a little bit burned out, a little bit. So, due to the counseling of my spouse and my spiritual guide through this world, Scott Christian, he's ordained. We're going to talk about maybe chilling, switching things around. So we're going to talk all about that tonight. I'm not going to spoil too much of it now. Let's see when we get some people coming on in here. Also, I will try not to do the inhale because I clearly just heard myself do that totally. But today is Wednesday. I wasn't even sure if today was Wednesday or not. Waiting to see people. We got some people on Facebook coming in, got some YouTubers coming in. Hello, John Bivens. All you doing? There you go. Cheers, bud. Let me check my lighting here. Steve the Iceberg, Ricky Berg. Okay, go to main. I got to evaluate my lights because I didn't save my lighting from that. It doesn't look too bad. Hey, Recluse Mage, how you doing? Honestly, it doesn't look all that bad. So probably can do some adjusting, some filibustering. Let's see. Ignite desktop app. No, I don't want to get rid of that. Do I? It's all very confusing. It's all very, so very confusing. Let's see. Got to get this. Oop. The funny thing about 1Password is you have to know the password to open 1Password in order to quit 1Password, which I just did. So there, 1Password. Nick, how you doing? You like the previous dramatic lighting? All right, we'll fix that now while we talk. Recluse Mage is halfway through Crypt 1 and loving it. That's fantastic. I'm happy to hear that because that's what it's all about. Yeah. Shoop. Oh, that's dramatic. Shoop. Oh, my goodness. It's very dramatic. Okay. Martin. Everybody's coming on in. Hi, Dawn. How are you guys doing? Tonight's episode is called Where Do We Go From Here? There is no story tonight. Could not get it done because I am still perhaps now only one day away from getting Warpath out the door. Again, hello, Dr. Campbell, for the third time getting it out the door. And I'm a little shout out, man. Worked all weekend on it. Got a gig coming up Saturday in San Diego. So Ninja Space says, thanks for all the stuff you put up for free. Makes my workday better. That's what it's all about. That's the goal. And we're going to be talking, A and I are going to be talking tonight about moving toward some free stuff that might not be the fiction writing. Just letting my sparkly personality shine. Hey, that's the sound of one hand clapping. There you go. Next time somebody says, hey man, what's the sound of one hand clapping? It's this. Rob says, Warpath out the door day again. It's like Groundhog Day. Exactly, Robbie. Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, in the chat room. What's up, bitches? Here we go. Do we got chat? No timer. Boom. Little timer up. Yeah, David. It's Warpath is a virus I can't kick. Also, comparable phrasing, an incurably sexually transmitted disease. I've got boils and blisters on my writing thanks to this book. All right. Oh, checking everybody out here. Guys, come on in. I'm glad y'all are here because we're going to have a talk tonight. Good to get some of your ideas on what we might do a little bit differently. It's good to have Rob here too, because Rob was a big part of the Story Smack podcast. But whatever A and I do next is not going to be like that because that was a huge amount of preparation. Ooh, that's for you, Rob. Here I go again. Growth to weakness when? Okay then, chilling, minding my business. His brother had it going on. I couldn't believe it. Wicked. Had to kick it. I'm not shy, so I asked for the digits. Cobalt, yes. Oh, of course. If you're on the YouTube, ring the bell, slap the like, and subscribe. Do all of these things. And you may not have to burn forever in hell. Daniel Baker says, Warpath is herpes on your derpies. Yes. Dawn, there is no story tonight, my love. It's not a story night. It's a chit-chat night. So if it dies, you haven't missed anything story-wise, and you can always come back and watch the show after. A's going to start the show right with us. She might be up about, looks like I got the timing wrong again. A might be up in a couple of minutes. Hi, Kim. And whenever she comes in, we'll sit down, get her camera situated, and we'll get started. We'll get crunking on this big thing. Hey, Daryl. Just got home doing a garage listen to the show. Hopefully that's not a euphemism for whatever the kids are doing these days with their genitalia. I don't know. Could be. But you just listen and do your thing. Hit your thing, girl. Chat that shit, Robbie. Exactamundo. Exactamundo. So once again, for those of you who just joined us a little bit late, no story, no live read story tonight. I'm fried, shot out, and grumpy, which is, unusual. I'm never grumpy. I'm the happiest goddamn person you ever saw in your whole goddamn life. It's a fact. Rob and Dan will vouch for me on that one. I'm not trying to get A to go along with that one, but we can try. And, got through the principal work, got through Warpath. So I finished with the prologue today, and huge continuity edit, checking all these things after they had me change a bunch of shit when it was already supposed to be done. But tomorrow, still got to do the spell check. 120,000 word spell check always finds errors. Grammar check always finds errors. And of course, I'm a little fast and loose with the rules of grammar. So, first of all, I get a bunch of grammar wrong. That's not this. Fast and loose with it is I know how it should sound from having said stories out loud for 20 years now. And I try and make what's on the page reflect the way it's supposed to sound. So a lot of times that goofs up the grammar. Michael Shiver finished Crypt 2 yesterday. What a ride. Kerpow. I hope that you put up a review because those are super important. Okay. Super important. New achievement. Here we go. And Rob, we're not ready to announce our thing yet. That's still God, kind of fucking forgot about it, to be honest with you. That's how Friday I'm like, what the? I just remembered that just now. So we'll have to work on that in the near future. All right, party time. Let's go back to main. Get rid of the party timer. Minus a minus. And A will be up here presently. And we will begin. Hi, Beth. How you doing? Glad you're here, Beth. You can give us a hand with our what's going on, what we're doing next. I just called up Audible to see if we need to talk about that. And look at all they do is audio dramas now. They're doing one after another. Audible original audio dramas, bringing in a bunch of actors and shit. It's very interesting. That too dives into why A and I are starting to make some changes. Think about making some changes. We still got to finish up. Recluse Manager, you're talking about what announcement? What? I wish I had Bouncy here so I could be that gif. Where was I? I forget. Whenever A comes up, we will get rolling. Until then, I will chit chat. Jay, Mike, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. Here comes my lovely right now. And she came in bearing scotch. It's always a good thing. Don Shipley says, on Ray's Facebook page, people were asked what audiobook was it that got you hooked on Ray Porter. My answer, Earthcore. I may be the only one that said a Sigler book. Ray does a lot of big books, man. So you got to think like we're a smaller part of that populace. Okay, Sugar Plum, let's get this dialed in. Okay. We're not too worried about, we'll just get the mic set up where you, I think I got in a good position. Nope, I did not. What is this all about?
It's hot in this room still.
I opened up the side. I left the side open for you. Okay, that's just you, baby. That's how hot you are, baby. What's that?
I'm getting pink.
Oh, let's get you unmuted.
Oh, but my headphones.
And I did not even touch your headphones because I'm a horrible, horrible man. I'm a horrible, horrible man with excellent, excellent taste, as you can tell by my spouse here.
It's a little dark.
It's so dark over there. What's that all about?
I think this.
Can
we up that ante?
Yes, Auntie, we can up that. So that's the
am I
right.
empty? Yeah. There we go.
Holy cats, look at that. Amazing.
See my forehead crease.
I have a forehead crease. Do you know why?
No.
Because when I was a young lad, very small, a small boy in the lovely town of Sheboygan, Michigan, way out in the boonies on Indian River Road. And Irv and I, my brother Irv and I, got into a snowball fight.
Mm-hmm.
And right before Dad was going to, or Mom was going to drive us to school.
Mm-hmm.
So I packed a big snowball and came out around the corner. And my parents had built this house. It was called the barn house because it had the barn-shaped roof. It was quite an experience to have your parents build a house as you're living in it when you are in the third grade. Ooh. And you can use a fan, Sugar Plum. Hit that fan on the side there. Get the air circulating.
Okay.
And I throw the snowball at Irv, and then I turn around and ran away. Ha, ha, ha. What I didn't realize was that I was very close to the stanchions of the porch. And because my dad is form over function, the stanchions holding up the whole deck, walk around deck on this porch were just giant 4x4s with corners and everything. And I ran smack, turned around, ran boing right into that. And I still have I can still feel the split in the, I guess the whatever that little stuff is below the skin there. There's like a little bit of flesh that separates the bone from the skin. I still have a divot in that damn thing and has never, ever gone away. It's kind of fun. I kind of like it now. So kind of helps when I make a Klingon face. It kind of furrows that a little bit pretty good. Rob, I have a 5-head crease. 8 is not. Let's not get into that. Doyle, how you doing? Look at yourself, Doyle. You're the hottie. Doyle says, look at these hotties. Sugar, what is tonight's scotch? The lovely Miss Copenhaver wants to know. Mrs. Copenhaver? Oh, yeah. Hold on, Rob. Rob's, you're right.
Oh, A+ did not happen.
A+. Go ahead and tell them what it is, babe.
I think you are finishing your Valentine's Day Talisker
Valentine's Day. Oh, because we got to be on Maine. That's why. Here we go.
Hi, guys. I had to go put on shorts because this is Scott's office. I think you guys all know that. And I am menopausal.
Hi, Genelia.
So
yep. I
absolutely cannot handle the heat in this room.
She is menopausal, and I'm cold-blooded. So I like to get the temperature up. Get that temperature up. Thanks for bringing us scotch, baby. It was so nice of you. All right. So it's going to be a little bit fast and loose tonight. We're about to hit record here in a second. What'd you need, sir? Oh, thanks. Tonight's episode is called Where Do We Go From Here? Where do we go? Where do we go now? And we're going to talk about possible changes in direction for the live stream and which will impact the podcast as well. We're going to be just like the U.S. government. We're going to be very open and transparent. Actually, not like the U.S. government. We're going to be actually very open and transparent and talk about some things that...
maybe even some stuff.
There's some things and stuff. I was thinking more stuff than things.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit of each.
Yep.
Some from column A, some from column B.
All right. So you ready to get into it, baby girl?
Absolutely.
We are just going to absolutely fucking wing it because I don't even have the script out. Do we have a script?
We do.
You did do the script, didn't you? Well, I mean. Okay, so let's go to Drive. Vamp for me. I'm shot up.
Yeah, it's a big day. So the other thing is your friendly neighborhood Siglers got new furniture recently. And we discussed it, smart as though we are, and
Make it yourself. Sorry.
Decided that we would rather spend the money on higher end pieces that we would still have to put together ourselves as opposed to just having it delivered whole cloth, and because we've got all kinds of time. So I've taken a break from putting together bedroom furniture because I can't do this motion without it hurting because of the screwdriver. So yeah, I'm done vamping. I'm not done assembling furniture.
Rob, keep your smart ass comments to yourself. I know what you're going to say and you don't need to say it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. We're just going to dive right in and do the best that we can. You ready, Pumpkin?
I am.
Okay, we go. Get this rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. What?
Keep those doggies rolling.
Keep them doggies rolling. Rawhide. Talk a little bit.
I'm keeping those doggies rolling. Rawhide.
Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, here we go. And welcome to Deep Cuts, the bonus episode of the Scott Sigler Slices Fiction Podcast, where a sci-fi author and an audiobook narrator discuss things and stuff in the world of fiction and pop culture. I am Scott Sigler, sci-fi horror author known far and wide as the future dark overlord.
And I am A.B. Sigler, audiobook narrator and publisher at Empty Set Entertainment.
This is where I normally tell you this is a bonus episode. Actually, no, this is correct. This is a bonus episode in the Scott Sigler Slices podcast feed. You don't have to listen to this one to keep up on whatever story we happen to be telling right now, but we do think you'll appreciate this peek behind the storyteller curtain. And not just a peek. I'm going to hike up the kimono, show you all the bumpy bits inside.
Lord, you guys, it's been a 2026 around here. So we came to you guys at the end of 2025 with the news that the live stream would be sunsetting and that we would stop doing the live stream. And we had a kind of an office hours about it, and you guys had a lot of opinions. And then we also had a handful of folks genuinely email us and talk to us about how essential having this to look forward to was, and sort of a bright spot in a dark time, all that sort of stuff. So then we decided we're going to kind of figure out how to manage that. Maybe we will do fiction not every week. Maybe we'll do shorter fiction, which Scott started to do. And how's that working out for you?
You
not so great, actually. Scott Sigler has worked. Let's see. Last night I went to bed. When did you go to bed? Like at midnight? I don't know.
1 a.m.
I had been sleeping for hours by the time he came to bed last night.
1 a.m. Yeah.
And the night before, similar. The night before that, similar.
All weekend long, we have been working on the book.
We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things.
Sorry, too.
Mood lighting.
Moon
look,
River.
now we're very cool.
Yes. Do you like this better? No, you don't. I don't think so. Sorry, I'll get this fixed. Go ahead.
We're going to talk a little bit about some of the problems that we're encountering and some of the changes that we're thinking of doing for them. First things first, I will say we are in a position that we are very lucky that there are collaborators that Scott likes to work with. There are publishing houses that Scott likes to work with. The folks at Athon are great folks. There's lots and lots of great people in this business that we really like working with. And there are sometimes things you don't know until it's too late. And we're kind of stuck there right now. We have been trying to get Warpath out the door. And by we, I mean he, for what, a year?
Well, if you took the whole project?
No, I mean literally thinking you were done with it.
Yeah, probably a year. It is
maybe a little bit less, but thinking that I'm so sorry to.
There's too many cooks in the kitchen. We talked about this last episode. Too many cooks in the kitchen, and we have surprise cooks that keep showing up. We're like, great, menu set. We've sourced all our ingredients from local community farms. It's sustainable. We have everything we need.
A nice
we
little
put out
local moment.
Little milk. We got a little broccolini. The menu set. We've advertised. The diners are coming in, everything is ready to go, and then all of a sudden we have a brand new chef come in out of nowhere and say we're changing half the menu. You're like, okay, great. I guess we got to shut down for the next 2 months. We can't serve any food. Get the menu all set up. You go through the whole process again. You're excited. You're ready to put it out, and then when you go to put it out, another surprise celebrity chef shows up and tells you have cockroaches in the fridge, and you're gonna have to fumigate everything and rechange the whole menu. That is the phase we are at. We're on our third surprise, our second celebrity surprise chef. And then the original chef is not able to do anything about it.
And almost assuredly, regardless, we are on the last chef for this particular expertise and experience. So hopefully he gets this project out the door and we move on to other things. Now, moving on to other things is the rub, because if Scott is writing fiction for this cast every Wednesday, then that is our full-time job. And this cast is free, and that is sort of coming up against, real life obligations.
Yeah, it takes it. What I originally thought was, when I started this out, I knew it would take some time to get to the point where it would take me one day a week to write the story or the chapter of Slay or whatever else we're working on. And that is never manifested except for like twice in the past 4 years. It usually takes 2 days to get that done. And then there's also preparing for a live read, getting the script set up, all that. That's another 3 hours probably. So it's almost 2.5 days of a 5-day work week where I'm spending writing the story to do the live read. Now, there's huge benefits for that for us. I got to write
100%.
Slay with Rob. Rob and I have a fun announcement about Slay. It's not a TV show. It's not a Tuma. Coming up very soon, and we're going to be working very hard on Slay very soon. So all of that came out of this. And also because we've been doing advertising. You guys hear us all the time for GoDaddy and Quince and Stamps.com and others. Putting 2 episodes out a week on YouTube, Facebook, etc., really boosts the algorithm for our search engine optimization. So if we keep putting out content, we do very well on the searches, and our affiliate revenue does pretty good. And that's our primary income stream right now, frankly. It's Audible, and it's that. So as we look at the fact that the weekly live stream, the weekly story is keeping me from finishing GFL 7. It is stretched out Warpath, but that's not all our fault. It's keeping me from getting at the Crypt Book 3. It's keeping me from writing anything brand new, because to write a book takes an enormous amount of concentration for me. You have to hold a lot of data in your short-term memory at once. And when you go off on all these other projects, a lot of that memory goes away, and you have to kind of reload those RAM cards. You got to reboot all that memory. So we have been talking about, so this puts us in a predicament. The weekly story generates 2 live streams a week, deep cuts and the fiction. And it also puts stuff in the content in the podcast feed, which we make advertising revenue off of if it's free. If you're one of the supporting cast supporters at supportingcast.scottsigler.fm, and for $5 a month, you don't have to listen to ads. We got a bunch of people doing that too. That's great as well. So we've got that there. We need to finish novels and put them out because we're contractually obligated. And when we do that, we do pretty well on Audible. So what we're going to do is we got some feedback from Realm. Realm.fm is our podcast host, and they're the ones who go out and sell the advertising for us. We had an interesting conversation with them, which I'm going to talk to you about in a second. But the gist of what we're going to do is, as A mentioned, we have people who really like seeing us every week. Mm-hmm. And we feel that we are an important part of people's weekly lives, be it on live stream or be it in the podcast or people going back and watching the video after the fact.
Yeah. So he has sort of laid out part of what our issue is with our day-to-day schedule and actually fulfilling contractual obligations and things like that. We also have a contractual obligation to the folks who signed up for some of the tiers on supporting cast. We have a contractual obligation to work with our vendors that we and you know and love, people who like Steve Rickenberg, who's in the chat, who stays the course for us. We have to have stuff to fulfill all of that. And we also decided that the live stream is yet essential for us, for you guys, whatever, for now. And so what we're doing is reimagining the live stream. So what seems to have come out of our continued discussions is we all love Scott Sigler fiction. Scott Sigler needs time to write his fiction in the more traditional Scott Sigler way, which is not having to stop every 3 days to redo a story and get ready for the live stream. But you guys said hanging out with us was the important part.
Yeah.
So
another contractual obligation. Another contractual obligation is spending time with my wife that is not working and not asking my wife to go do stuff so I can stay on the keyboard and trying to do all of those things. So here's what we're working on right now. I brought this up to Realm FM, and I came in a little hot, controlled heat. It's a mild heat. It's like a 3 on the burner, not an 8, like a 3.
How dare you? That's my husband you're talking about.
And I'm like, hey man, why not get more host reads? Because host reads bring in a certain amount of money. And so we had a Real Talk, bro. We had Real Talk with Realm. And basically, even though Realm started out as a storytelling podcast network, multicast, single narrator, anything, they have moved over to more co-hosted podcasts and topical podcast because that is their biggest downloads. So I said, why am I not getting as many host reads as?
Will you take a moment and tell everybody what a host read is?
Yeah. So when I'm like, hi, I'm Scott Ziegler. I'm sorry to interrupt your story, but I got to tell you about GoDaddy.com. They're fantastic. They've been hosting our feed for a long, long time, and they've never let us down. And now you can host your feed with GoDaddy too.
What's the code?
The CJC F11C. CJC FOSS 3. I'll look it up in a minute. But that is a host read. When the podcast host talks about one of the advertisers of the show, it's called a host endorsement or a host read. And the idea is if you're getting enough downloads, brands want to advertise in your show and they want you to talk about their brand. And there's a whole separate episode A and I are going to do about all the advertising that we have passed up. And it's a lot of advertising because we don't believe in that space, segment, or product. So I asked, why am I not getting more host reads? And in the conversation, we find out this was a shocker to me. They're like, well, frankly, fiction and storytelling are the smallest. They get the lowest ratings out of all of the Realm podcast feeds. True crime is their sweet spot right now. Co-hosted fiction, primarily at least one woman on the cast, if not 2 women on the cast. And the other category they're really strong in is kind of women talking about stuff. And that can be entertainment, that can be true crime. So we're chit-chatting with them, and I'm like, I have to admit, I've been doing this for 20 years, gotten a little long in the tooth. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the motherfuckers who started all this shit. Like I was there from day 1, like day 3 out of 300. I was there super fucking early. I was probably one of the first 100 podcasts, period, in the world. But the marketplace has sort of changed. It's moved on. It's altered. I was already aware that full cast audio storytelling is crushing what I do, which is single narrator storytelling. So like White Vault and, We're Alive, those shows get significantly higher downloads than mine do. So to find out that even though we're on a fiction podcasting network, that actual fiction is way down the list. So I start talking to Realm. And I'm like, well, we do the live stream stuff. We do deep cuts. Like, well, yeah, you probably could lean into that more. That'll probably do better than the stories. And they were very nice. Like, your stories are great. Your audience is great. You have consistent listenership. It's just
not the platform.
The marketplace doesn't want as much of that as this other stuff that you seem to have, which is 2 people who interact well with the gift of gab. So they also said that they were trying to wanted to start launching some sports podcasts, and they're not sure how to go about that. And so I started asking them some questions, and this is basically what A and I are going with at this particular point. Because of our strength in 2 categories of sports. Number 1, expertise in American football, high-level expertise in American football, and the ability through the GFL to communicate very complicated concepts and break it down into smaller bits and let people understand all the fun that's going on in the NFL, right? And eventually college football, things like that. We have that on one side. On the other side, we have someone who's a student of the game of football, student of the games of football, and is learning at a rapid pace. So we started to look at that, and I'm like, when football season rolls around, Realm, do you think it'd be a good show, have a co-hosted show, male and female, talking about the fundamentals of football and what's currently going on in the NFL, et cetera? And they were like, that would be absolutely fantastic.
And so we started to talk about that after the call with Realm because there are several things that are true that we think also we enjoy when we're just chatting with each other, because I am new to football. You guys have all heard this. In 2009, Scott and I, or 2008, Scott and I start to work together to release The Rookie as a print book. And he makes me pick a football team, which is the first time I have thought about organized sports pretty much ever in my life, except for tennis, because I grew up unable to play team sports. I was born with bad kidneys. I can't play team sports. So I also come to sports you can watch on TV, almost all of which are either the Olympics, which are obviously widely covered, or team sports. And having me not really knowing a lot about a lot of these sports and having hardly ever, if ever, played some of them, versus Scott, who is almost every sport he's ever encountered, he's at least tried probably. Have you ice skated?
Oh, yeah.
Have you played bocce ball?
Yes.
Have you played pickleball?
Yes.
Okay. My point. So we thought that would be kind of entertaining because it entertains us when I ask a question like, well, what happens if a football player just runs off the field? And Scott's like, I mean, why would he run off the field? I'm like, but what if he does? These are the things that we think might commute to an interesting conversation. And then the other thing is, we have been talking with you guys in the last few months. A lot of the podcasts you seem to really like are us kind of talking about something about the publishing industry or just in general kind of interacting with each other. So we figured we're going to give this a try.
So the general Daniel Baker in the chat room, Dr. DB, asks, serious question, how do you not spend 2.5 hours a week prepping for that said sportscast? What we're looking at rolling out here is much more off the cuff and topical. I'm already mainlining the NFL all the time. So there's a lot we can talk about, but the gist of what we're going after is not talking about deep level salary cap and like all these crazy things and names you've never heard. You know who the GMs are. We're talking about the basic stuff, i.e., when I posted on Facebook trying to explain very nicely what the call in the field was in the playoff game, why that was a drop or an interception and not a down by contact. It's the biggest thing I've ever put on Facebook. It blew up instantly. So the gist of it is like, we're just gonna go on ESPN. Hey, what's this? Do we know anything about this? Great. We'll talk about this. Do we know anything about this? No. Great. We're going to go fumble our way through it and say, I have no idea what's going on, but we're going to be talking about topical things in the world of sports on relatively short notice, because we've noticed that we realize that things can go not viral, but things get a lot of traction when it's a thing a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah.
So if it's football related, mostly that's going to be like, oh, here's another crazy rule situation. We're going to go break down this rule and I'll explain to A live and that way, the point being, yeah, we'd love to get people like Rob Otto and Dan Baker who know football watching this cast. But those guys are very small. No, there are a lot more people who are sort of interested in, there are a lot more people who are tangentially or secondarily interested in this stuff, and they would like rudimentary, dirty but dumb explanations. But why are there laces on the ball? Great. We're going to talk about that. What's the flag for? We're going to talk about that.
But it is at its core us coming to entertainment as content creators, as entertainers, but also as human beings, one who doesn't have a ton of sports education background or practice and one who does. And so it will be definitely talking about ESPN sort of things, but it will also be talking about how sports show up in other venues. I don't know, like this book called The Rookie, where sports is sort of a backdrop for the story that gets told.
Right.
So we may end up seeing sort of esoteric, tangentially related to sports things that we choose to talk about.
That's the other angle we're going for. Is we've done Story Smack. We had a blast with that. The prep time was probably a little bit much. So we're going to bring something like that back. But again, keep it tied to the world of sports. So we're going to shoot for 2 casts a week. One, topical, completely off the cuff coverage of whatever's going on in the world of sports. For
Very
example,
extemporaneous.
extempore.
Yeah.
That's a good word. You should be a writer. Like, for example, I will spend an entire episode convincing you I know what the fuck's going on with curling, and I don't. But I will tell you I do. And we'll sweep. And we'll be very serious about football and explaining the nuances and subtleties of that game. Everything else, we're just gonna have fun with. The goal is that's one cast a week. Flip on the lights probably Tuesday, and just get on, goof off, record, and we'll put it in the podcast feed, and we will put it in. Obviously, we have the live streams because when I talked to Realm, I was like, do I need to make should I make a whole new feed for this? And they're like, no. And I don't know if it was your idea or her idea at Maddie over at Realm, but it's like the show's called Scott Sigler Slices. So this is a slice of football, and this is a slice of the Olympics. We're just going to keep it going in the feed. What Realm told me was, as long as it's clearly labeled that it's not a story, that my fans will they'll skip right past it. They're like, I don't want to listen to that, and they'll wait for the next story, and that works great.
And in fact, that is backed up with their data. They know that that is what happens. There are people who don't unsubscribe if they don't care to hear whatever the non-story is.
Right.
They just listen for 10 seconds and scoot right past it. So that's okay.
And David Lamb in the chat room says, so this won't detract too much from your writing time. No, because of the way we're going to approach it, right? This is extemporaneous.
Extemporaneous.
Off the cuff. It's off the cuff. We're going to be like, hey, babe, did you see this one story? I did see that the guy had to change his number because the other guy retired. Yeah, that's what we're going with tonight. Flip on the cameras, and we're literally going to look it up live as we speak. Some prep time, but not the in-depth prep time of Story Smack, not even the in-depth prep time of Deep Cuts.
So we have a handful of questions in the various chat rooms asking, wait a minute, can we ask stupid sports questions? Please send all your stupid sports questions to info@emptyset.com, because yes, if you have stupid sports questions, you would be surprised, but I probably have most of those questions myself.
Probably. Vaughn, I want you to email that question you just typed to info@emptyset.com. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's making... Hold on. We're not reinventing the wheel. There are hundreds of people who already do this. But we're going to do it our way, which is making sports simple, accessible. You don't have to know a fucking thing to tune into our cast, spend time with us, and be entertained, because it's going to be fun, it's going to be funny, it's going to be great. The other part we're talking about is also relatively simple. Also, you don't have to do anything. You can just tune in and check it out, which is, we know sports, we know entertainment, so why not sports entertainment? Am I right? Why not both? We're going to be probably once a week. We're going to talk about a sports movie or a sports TV show or anything related in that category. And again, this is not expertise. We're not breaking things down. For example, she's watched more, but I watched the first episode of Heated Rivalry. So we're going to, our first episode is going to be like, we're just going to talk about Heated Rivalry. That's it.
Can you go back to Maine for a second?
Yep.
So this is part of it. I think we will probably start this next week talking about Heated Rivalry, the show. But this is exactly what we mean. I have watched a lot more hockey than Scott has, if I don't miss my guess. But Scott has played more hockey of any ilk than I have ever had, because I've never played hockey. However, I have read every single one of those books. And both of us have watched episode 1 of the show. And so we're going to talk about that with how the interaction of sports and entertainment and the way we both come to these things, kind of like skipping rocks off a river. That's what we're going to do. Heated Rivalry is the river. We're going to skip rocks off the top.
Oh, Mr. Carter, pick on me. Oh,
okay, Barbarino.
That's Horseshack, bro. Vinny Barbarino.
That I pulled Barbarino out of my head.
My hair.
3 decades later, I deserve props.
It's going to be a lot of this.
How dare.
And hold on. I'm so fried I might have forgot my point. But the gist of all of this is not a lot of prep time. You're going to hate to hear this, Steve Rickyberg. Not a lot of editing. It's it's warts and all, man. We're going to, just like almost all of the successful co-hosted or talk show style casts, they turn on the mic, they record, they post, that's it. Only an egregious faux pas will they be like, we got to edit that. Go and edit that. So we're not going to put in this huge amount of prep time, and it's going to be semi-scripted at best. So that is the answer to everybody's like, well, you're doing this and it's taking away from your writing time. If you do that, won't it also take away from your writing time? No, because this will be kind of the end of the workday. I get to hang out with my best pal, and we get to just shoot the shit about what's trending on Threads.
With you guys.
What sports thing is trending on Threads right now? Oh, let's talk about that. That's all the intelligentsia we're going to put in this motherfucker.
So practically speaking, as the operational person in our two-person business, the reason it won't take away from his writing time is unlike the fiction part of this podcast or this live stream, I can control almost the entire prep time. Scott has to make sure the equipment that you are watching us on works, but I can do everything else, which I cannot do with the fiction. Of course, I cannot write fiction. I get none of that.
Yeah.
But I can pull all the relevant links. I can send him a working document that has, hey, you need to spend half an hour on the morning dog walk today, which is probably what's going to happen next Wednesday. Look at these 6 links, look at these 6 articles, look at these 3 things, or whatever. And they will be, I think we are almost assuredly going to talk about heated rivalry next Wednesday, unless something very dramatic happens in the sports world this week. So I'll send him a few links. We have watched that first episode together. I will send him a couple of, this past weekend was a lot of award shows, and heated rivalry is the debutante at the ball. So a lot of that stuff. Because for us, there's also, for all of us, and I'm not just talking about Scott and I'm talking about you guys too. You guys have an interest in how the behind the scenes work, how interactions work, how the industry works a little bit. So there's a lot of interesting things there. It's really interesting as a tiny, not spoiler, a trailer for next week. It's really interesting to me how well received the actors are from Heated Rivalry this weekend on very, very global stages, when the subject matter, if you guys don't know, it's a gay love story. The subject matter might not actually translate across the world. There are some societies that won't be able to play Heated Rivalry, but they did show the gold or the actor awards or whatever. So that's really interesting to me, because that's a new, fresh take for me about how the industry responds to maybe a prickly moment. So we're going to talk about things like that.
Things like that. And remind me, I want to go back to the chat room, answer a couple questions.
Yeah.
And then your key word to remember is positivity.
Positivity.
The password is positivity. All right. So.
It's not extemporaneous?
No, Jesus, you're confusing me already. God damn it.
Positivity.
Rob also expects you to get the names correct for a 50-year-old show. What the fuck? Cobalt says, my dad had season tickets to the Falcons for many, many years. Been to a lot of games. Love hockey live. Yes, Lou Holtz apparently. I saw Lou Holtz was trending today. I should have realized he may have passed away. It seems he did. I have not. That's how in the hole I've been the whole time. I don't even know what's going on. And a couple people brought up topics about sports that I'm completely unaware of, like Paige Buckers and her future, et cetera. I'm sort of missing some things here. So here's David Lamb talking about David Montgomery leaving the Lions and how fucking heartbroken I am over this, but that's the business. So there'll be episode anytime somebody leaves a team and the fan base is heartbroken, we're going to talk about that. But the point of our sports stuff is we're not Stephen Asshole Smith. We're not doing that. Everything remains positive. Everything remains fun, supportive, non-judgmental. At no point will I get there like, I don't know, dude. I tell you what, Lou Holtz screwed Notre Dame so bad, I hope he fucking dies this week. And then he does. But we're not.
Okay, but can I pass some judgment? Like maybe on how fucking gorgeous Jennings Dunker's mullet is.
Yeah, like that. We'll have a whole episode on Jennings Dunker's mullet, right? That's the kind of shit that we're going after. So far, when Rob and I did Story Smack, there were movie posters. We did some video clips. So much prep. This is going to be much. Look at it. Like, look at this guy's lettuce. Look at this red lettuce on this redneck's head. He's amazing. Look at him. He's gorgeous. That's the whole gist of it. And we will just sit there and riff on that for at least 30 minutes, and then we will stop for the stuff. But it's all going to be positive. It's all going to be fun. Who's the guy we love after Monday Night Football? The really tall guy in ESPN? Scott?
Van Pelt.
Scott Van Pelt. Scott Van Pelt is the template for what we are trying to do, except Scott Van Pelt
Booger.
has... I don't know if Booger's all that positive. Scott Van Pelt has a staff and writers, people preparing things for him. We're not going to be doing that. But Scott Van Pelt is almost never negative because everyone he talks about, he can't do the things that those people can do. He can't even get close to doing those things. And Scott Van Pelt understands.
Better than any dunk I've never made.
Scott Van Pelt understands that the reason he has a job is because he is erudite and humorous, talking about people who can do things that he can never dream of doing. He gets it. Other sportscasters are, I hate it. I got out of sports reporting because I would have had to be just a bigger asshole than I am now, and be judgmental of everybody. And I'm someone who's fucking played sports. I played college sports. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I know what it takes. I hate it when people shit on athletes. So that's not part of our show. We're just, what's the fun thing going on this week?
And as we develop this idea, this is what the Wednesday night streams will be for the most part. And this is what will appear in the Sunday episode if you are a podcast subscriber. If you're not a podcast subscriber, you sure should be. That said, we genuinely believe this is going to open up a lot more uninterrupted writing blocks for Scott, and that is key to our success. Scott being able to spiral into a story, figure out problems, connect pieces, things like that, and then come back out 4 or 5 hours later. That's the thing we've been missing because he wears so many hats doing podcast, live stream producing, equipment management, IT management, writing, all that stuff, that he's not able to do those long form sessions. And that's the thing that we really need to get back to. That said, there will surely be fiction in this podcast, in this live stream. I'm so sorry. Moving forward at intervals. We have talked about a handful of other things to get fiction works in progress to you guys intermittently, that kind of thing. So we all figure it out. This is still a work in progress, but we talked at the end of last year about changing this stream, decided that wasn't the right answer after all, after bringing it to you guys and getting a lot of feedback. But we are still in a position where something has to change on this end.
Something's got to give. Something's got to give. A couple things going on in the chat room. Number one, Mike Wurs just showed up and says, hello, Sig Squad. You know a guy like Mike Wurs. That's the guy who walks in and goes, Wurs! Also, we have Andre. I don't know if it's Andre. Hello, Andre. He's tuning in from Costa Rica, trying to rehear/read the whole GFL 4 book 7. Fabulous. Also heard on other deep bits, everything is connected, so trying to finish the other series too. Yes, get caught up, because the second I send Warpath off, I don't talk about this a lot on social media. I'm literally 3 chapters away from being done with GFL 7.
I mean,
3 chapters. It is like having a small Victorian child who sits in the corner and stares at you with an empty bowl of gruel and doesn't say anything, just is like, with a haunted expression. You know why? Because she's dead. She's been dead for 160 years, and she died hungry, and all she wants is gruel, but you can't give her gruel because she's dead. That's what GFL 7 is, fucking right in that corner, right fucking there. When I do this, the dogs run for the hills because they think the fucking ghost is real. Fuck it. So what I'm saying is, I'm very close to being done with GFL 7. And fucking the Crypt Book 3 is goddamn final draft, bitches. I'm not going to get into this. Baby, why don't you?
So there are a couple of other fun things that we think will be fun. Scott has told you on this live stream more than once during football season that he enjoys watching football with me because even all these years later, where now I understand football reasonably well, I still have questions that he doesn't have because I've only been paying attention to football for 14 years now or 15 years now or whatever, and he has been paying attention his entire life. And so every once in a while, I will be like I said, early on, it was things like, hey, what happens if the players walk off the field? And he was like, that would never happen. I was like, yeah, but what if it happens?
That's the questions we want.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
But now they're more complex, and they're like, well, wait a minute, X, Y, and Z. And he, when he will answer that question, he'll say, he likes watching football with me because I make him think through the things he's always known, so to speak. And sometimes he talks to Rob, and sometimes he talks to his family and things like that to get more of an answer about the rule change or anything like that. So it keeps you fresh and it helps me learn.
It's super fun. It's the entire reason I started GFL. Was a handful of reasons. Excuse me. Number one, as a lifelong athlete, as someone who was literally born into football, the first memory I have as a human being is sitting on my dad's knee and watching 16 millimeter football film as he broke down film because he was a high school football coach at the time. So like my first thing as a human being was watching football, literally that, and then following that through. And I incessantly got infuriated with people's dismissal of athletes and sports, the dumb jock trope, all these other things, and being one foot in the sports world, 1 foot in the nerd world, I was like, I can do something about this. I can show my nerd brethren how awesome this fucking game is. All the mathematics involved, all the physics involved, the sacrifice, the work, etc., the strategy. I can do all of that and bring all of these people over here, and I can do that if I can break things down to a very simple, break things down into small components, then explain the components, stitch the components together into a bigger whole. So these are the questions that we actually want. There's no dumb question. Okay, well, Rob, you can ask a dumb question. There's no dumb question you can ask on this show. We're going to because also we're working our asses off over here. If somebody sends in a question like, but why is the end of the ball puckered and not pointed? I'm like, oh shit, baby, let's turn on the mics. Let's go.
And to circle it back again, if somebody sends in a question saying, why is the football shaped like a football? Or why does the football have laces? And that is going to be the thing that we talk about. I can run that I have bandwidth that Scott doesn't have. Scott has 5 books right now in some version of finished.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have more bandwidth. So why is the football shaped? I can do any pre-prep that we need. And we have said 1,000 times on this live stream that Scott is always the morning dog walk. We have 2 lovely little buddies, and he walks them every morning pretty much.
Yeah.
And so it's I can send him something on Tuesday that says, on the Wednesday morning dog walk, I need you to look at these 4 links. Because he's going to have a lot more institutional knowledge than I have. So I have more legwork anyway. But that way we have a concise something to answer those questions for you. I have no idea why the football is football shaped. I assume it's aerodynamics. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah,
but we'll figure it out.
Yes, the rotation and the torque. I now forget what the fuck those are called. The things that spin and keep balance. What are those called?
Tops.
Gyroscope. The gyroscopic properties of the American football obligate spheroid is going one of the most fascinating things you can possibly think of. Yeah, so that's what it's going to be. Us flipping on the mic, goofing off, having a good time, not shitting on anyone. Also, my father and I, do not agree on many things at this particular time in the world. But one thing we do agree on is the wonderful world of sports. So somebody in the chat room asked, will there be guests on the show? Absolutely. I think probably a standing guest is going to be Rob Otto,
For
who
sure.
knows more than I do about the business side of football and the rules of football. I think I outweigh Rob in a couple of areas, but Rob knows a fuck ton about football.
And Rob knows a huge amount about making sports information entertaining from his career in radio.
That is another area in which he is an expert. Rob makes things fun and can explain things without making anybody feel dumb for having asked any question in the world. He makes you, every time you talk to a guy like Rob Otto, he makes you feel respected and makes you feel interesting. And he is like, he's excited you asked that question because he can't wait to talk to you about that question. Even if it's like, why are the lines white? Why is the grass? Rob's gonna be like, oh, great, let's talk about it. That's the gist. So regular guests like Rob.
Did you just say, why is there grass?
Why is there grass? Why don't you play on wood like in basketball? Rob would have an answer for that question. But then, getting my dad on once in a great while, possibly getting my brother on, my nephews on, all high-level football people and other sports as well. But this kind of show also opens it up to, as we start to get into there's so many storylines in the WNBA and it's
100%.
so fucking awesome. And now women's pro hockey, things like that. We're going to be able to get other guests on to help us.
The chat room tonight has talked a lot about we're just coming in a little too late to cover the Olympics. And that's true, but that's fine. Because there's so many little things to talk about. And then the other thing is, if Scott ever does get less busy and less tethered to this specific room in his life, this poor man spends so much time in this room, we might also do a lot, go and experience a new sport. Like mini golf together or pickleball together or probably not indoor skydiving together.
Oh, no, none of the X
things
Games.
like that. Little things like we might go try something new and see how we do because I know that Scott never gets upset and he's the happiest boy you know. However, most of the time I approach things like, what's the worst that can happen? Let's have some fun. And Scott approaches most things like, I'm going to kill you.
I will master this game and I will make you regret you were ever born. And then I will buy you a beer after and we will be close friends.
Can you put us back on me?
Yes.
So we're going to figure this out, but that is the new direction of the live stream. We heard you guys. We got a handful of very moving messages when we were getting ready to cancel the live stream, and that didn't end up feeling right to us. This is a way that we can make sure Scott has some more life in his life.
Well, hang out with my girl, dog. I want to fucking hang out with my girl, not work all the goddamn time.
I mean,
have you met my girl? I want to hang out with my girl.
You also want to go out to dinner.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Go out for a drink at the end of the day.
Are you saying there are establishments, places of business that prepare food for you and put it on the table so that you may ingest it without doing any of the cooking it all yourself? And they might serve drinks, and they might have very tiny umbrellas they can put into your drinks so you know it is a celebration? Is that what you're saying?
That's sort of what I'm saying. So, the goal is that we change our live stream so that Scott gets his work done, his fiction work done. We still get to hang out with you guys, and maybe we try duck pin bowling. Who knows?
Christine says she needs smack talk. Smack talk is an exemption from the not talking negative about anything. We may even make it a regular thing like Scott's Weekly Smack Talk. And I will talk smack.
Every episode he gets 15 seconds to talk smack.
Oh, 15, baby. Babe, you can't.
I gotta rein it in, or else it'll be the whole cast.
You can't tell Picasso to paint on a tiny stamp. You can't tell Michelangelo that he gets this section of the ceiling and not the whole goddamn thing.
Listen, if I were paying Michelangelo or I was paying Picasso, I could tell him how to do what he could do. So yeah. I absolutely can tell you. You can only talk. Actually, we're almost done for the day.
I think so, yes, baby.
So I think I need you to go back to Maine.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like you to smack talk about biathlon.
Biathlon.
You're mad because your preferred biathlon candidate did not win. Player? I don't know. What do you call him if it's single? Athlete.
Athlete.
I'm so sorry. Biathlete. I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
What's my favorite athlete's name?
Howard.
Howard.
And you get to talk smack.
What did Howard get disrespected on? Howard didn't win?
People were talking smack about Howard's.
Oh, I
acumen.
did talk smack about people talking smack about Howard?
Exactly.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Tell me when.
In 3, 2.
Now I gotta talk about the Olympics. The Olympic Committee setting up rules that my man Howard can't win the biathlete. Have you seen him ski? Have you seen him ski? He is like an angel skating across the surface of the water. So Jesus Christ himself would look down and say, God damn, Howard, you can ski like an angel. And he's got the eye of an eagle. He's like Hawkeye in that one movie, and he's a glorious shooter. He should have been a gold medal winner. They cheated him.
So that's where we're headed with our live stream. If you want to hear us, Scott, athlete.
Jesus Christ. Can Rob, I'm going to ask, in the chat room, can Rob Otto stop being so goddamn fucking clever? Jesus.
Scott, athlete, not athlete. We'll talk about the intersection of sports and entertainment. We are planning to continue this live stream. There will be the normal interruptions if we travel, things like that. We will still miss some here and there. There will almost assuredly, not yet settled in stone, but almost assuredly be fiction drops in the live stream and or fiction drops in the podcast, because it is also possible for us to record Scott reading something and not have it be live. So we are thinking about that. And then the third thing about this is there will also almost assuredly be much shorter off-the-cuff things in the
Can we
stream.
talk about that real quick before we go on?
Sure.
So this is the other realities that we are looking at and learning as we go. As a couple of long in the tooth veterans of the podcasting industry, is you also have to play for clips to some extent. And now what A just did, serving me up with what I have to say, is an absolutely flawless 30-second off the cuff. We could put that in a clip, put that on TikTok and all the places with the videos, and it would do great. Is some things don't require 30 minutes to an hour's worth of conversation. Some of the things we're going to talk about is like, dude, that's a 3 minute, that's 5 minutes. Boom, dead, done, turn on the cameras, light it up, go. Now, most of that will be in the social media side, but hopefully that will bring more people to this cast, people who want to show up, get pumped up with positivity, have a good time, learn a little bit if possible, and generally celebrate the joyful things in life. The joyfulness of athletics, human competition, hard work, sacrifice, and just there's so much fucking garbage in our world right now. Not that this is a spike. It's always been this way. There's so much difficult shit going on and hard shit going on. Our job, what we have embraced, our life's calling is we take you away from that stuff. We send you to the world of fucking silliness where the thing I was born to do, which was entertain your ass, I go do that. You get a breather. You get to go back to your regular life. And the reason we're still keeping this cast going, we started it in 2019 or 2020?
2020. We started
live
in the live stream in the pandemic.
We started in the pandemic, yeah.
I think at the end of March of 2020. It's hard to remember.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
The before time.
I didn't have this face lettuce until it was determined by the face lettuce contest, the tournament.
You had the forked beard, remember?
Well, for a while, yeah.
It's so good. And then he had to shave it because the mask wouldn't.
Oh, I couldn't put my mask on. Bumble says, Scott, you're such a skibbity sigler. I still don't fucking know what the goddamn shit is. I don't know. I watched a couple episodes of Skibbity Toilet. I'm like, I'm old as shit.
I know, but you loved Robot Chicken.
Well, Robot Chicken is brilliant.
My point is, are people who think Skibbity Toilet is brilliant and didn't understand Robot Chicken.
I'm not saying Skibbity Toilet. I'm not
Love
judging
you,
it.
Dan.
I am fully admitting that I'm an old motherfucker and I don't get it. What we're absolutely going to try to do in this show too is like, if we don't get stuff, we're going to feel like, I don't understand this one goddamn bit. I don't get it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying I don't understand it.
Speaking of, we don't understand it. Bumblebee 94.
Recluse Mage says, what is a skibbity toilet? You're older than we are, boy. That's going, I'll tell you what.
And on YouTube, Bumblebee 94 says, are you skibbity dingy?
I feel like I'm either getting complimented or destroyed, and I don't know which it is.
We have no idea. We're very old. So anyway.
I guess I'm not as old as I thought I was. A lot of my listeners say, skibbity toilet? What the hell is that?
And then Bumblebee said, it's a really cool person who writes awesome books. When I said, what is a skibbity dingy? So you're a skibbity dingy.
Bumble. I went when Skibbity Toilet was doing very well on YouTube. And I'm like trying to find my way in this new world. I'm like, what I did is great. What I do is awesome. But people are having so much more audience reach. They're creating things that more people are like. I'm like, oh, Skibbity. I hear Skibbity Toilet's a thing. I went and watched like 2 videos. And I'm like, what? I still have no idea why anyone would like it, because they would have to understand it to like it. I'm not saying they're wrong for liking it. I'm saying I am so confused by what I saw.
Because you literally did this. Let's see what it is about this skibbity toilet. Which
Chris,
I could have told you right from the get-go if your approach is,
Recluse.
I should find out about this skibbity toilet.
Recluse Mage, Chris, I tell you, go to YouTube, Google skibbity toilet. And here's the thing. As far as I understand it, you have to find the original creator and go back and watch some of those episodes. And you will turn things on that have 3 million views and like 800,000 comments of people raving in the comments. So, like that's not a thing you can't fake that. You can AstroTurf, you can fake things, not to this level. And then you will watch and be like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I don't understand any of this. So that will also be a whole episode of A&I's new stream. Yeah.
So we are starting this new sports
Hey, Mom!
focused live stream next week. My mom just joined the chat room on Facebook.
Everybody
Mom,
say
I
hi.
love you so much.
Say hi to Marianne. She goes by Zippy. She is Zippy the Voracious in the GFL series. So those of you who are doing the full reread, the full re-listen of the GFL series, when you find Zippy the Voracious, that is it's in honor of A's mom, and she's in the chat room with us right now.
I love you so much, Mama. Martin Evans on YouTube says you're just a small town skibbity pizza lawyer. So
now I'm just a small town skibbity pizza lawyer. I don't even know what skibbity pizza is, but I did graduate in 3 years from a 7-year skibbity pizza law college, College of Law.
So you guys, we will be back next week. We are going to hang out with you a little bit after this cast is over. We do have to do one little
Rob,
punch-in,
Jesus
so you guys
Christ.
are going to hang out with us while we do that. Don't end your stream if you want to hang out with us after we end the recording, which we're going to do in just a minute. But for now, that is it for this episode of Deep Cuts. Next week, we'll be back talking about Heated Rivalry, episode 1.
And I will tell you guys right now, I have watched it, so many of you do not have to watch it, but it is not my not watching more is not about what you think it's about. It's about something different.
Until then, how do they smell?
You know what? You all smell an awful lot like skibbity flowers. I don't even know if that's... I don't know. All right. You live stream, you guys are on for the live chat? Hangout? We're not going anywhere. No, I don't turn that off, right? Yeah. Okay. I did that last week.
Don't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks,
Out.
Doyle.
Hang out. We're going to end the live stream in just a minute, but we have to do a quick recording because we didn't do a punch in for the ad in the middle. So we're going to read that right now so that Steve can edit it. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Time for a quick break. If you have a minute, listen to any ads that pop up. There are only 1 or 2, and it really helps the show. We'll be back right after this.
And then, Steve, I'll throw this in. And we're back. Good luck, bro. Good fucking luck with that shit. Ready?
So you
Done?
guys hang out. We're done. You're
Okay.
going to end that script. So
I'm excited. This is like literally the biggest closing audience we've had in months.
terrific.
It's
Terrific.
like people are, the chat room is jumping. People are excited. This is great.
Christine, that was me doing a punch in for the podcast on Sunday. There's nothing for you to watch right now. So you're
Yeah, you
fine.
didn't miss nothing.
I do, Martin, I do love Zippy the Skibbity. I don't know what that means. I think it's a good thing.
Skibbity the voracious.
Yeah.
I'm not
Skibbity
gonna lie.
the-
I'm gonna talk about this for a minute. So, skibbity toilet, and it becomes this whole slang thing, with the kids.
The
And-
kids today.
And I understand, like, first of all, I don't know what the word skibbity is. It's also got the word toilet in it. I know there's an article in there, but I'm like, whatever. But we put in so much fucking time. And sometimes you guys, in any business, you do well, then you got to step back and be like, let's take a look at what's going on in the industry, related industries, not necessarily competitors. What are other people doing?
Yeah.
And entertainment's a great space because you don't really have competitors. All you have is other storytellers telling stories in their way. But people who like stories have this much time, and people who write stories have this much time. So if you're watching another show and eating it all up, you're going to be done with that eventually, and you'll be hungry for something else, and you can come back to what we do, and it works the same way. So I'm like, I hear this skibbity toilet thing, and oh my God, we may put it on the screen for one of these episodes with no volume and flip it so it doesn't get a takedown. It's the craziest shit I ever saw. And I went to high school with Rob Otto in Sheboygan, Michigan.
This is
and
also
it's
the first time I
craziest shit
realized
ever
that
saw.
Skibbity Toilet was a show.
I think it's a show. It was a theme. It was also a genre.
I wish. So okay. So Scott doesn't. I don't social media. a
Skibbity
lot.
brain damage.
I don't social media a ton,
Mhm.
but I do. I do watch. I'm a lurker. So I lurk a lot more on YouTube than on TikTok than he does.
Mhm.
I wish that some of this the TikTok memeing had included Skibbity Toilet. 'cause
Oh, it
this is
did?
It did?
Oh my God.
Oh, then I can look it up and understand.
It did. It's just right now, TikTok and Instagram has fallen off quite a bit because they need to make money, and they've changed a bunch of things.
Mhm.
So the algorithm isn't quite the same anymore. And a lot of creators have gotten totally screwed because they do this, people love it, change the algorithm, people don't watch your shit anymore. But TikTok, Instagram, everything, every place else, when you stumble onto one of these very, very popular subgenres, and you're like, how does this have 197,000 thumbs up? I don't even know what I'm looking at right now.
Right. I can't even figure it out.
You did.
But
Yeah.
I think this is how we know that's not for us. Not everything is for me.
I don't know because, it's also like I was so into what I was doing, what we were doing for so long, and I knew We're Alive. I knew We're Alive was out there, right? Great people, great product, great stuff. I completely missed. I was like 4 to 5 years behind the curve of realizing there were two kinds of content going on that I basically didn't know about. And we're good friends with the people of Leviathan Chronicles. But We're Alive, Leviathan Chronicles started roughly the same time we did. I found shows like We're Alive with massive audiences because full cast original audio was the big deal.
Yeah, for sure. I realize we're not recording anymore. There are a couple of questions you guys have that are worth answering. Behind Blue Eyes Part 3 will show up. We're
We'll
not
get it
exactly
done.
sure when or how,
Yep.
but Scott needed to finish his current project more than everything else.
I needed a break.
And Blue Eyes is not exactly complete because there's our main character. It has a little bit of an evolution. I also, Dawn, you ask who Radowski is in the Crypt Book 2. That is my fairy stepfather, my stepdad, Jake.
Yep.
He's my dad he's the best thing that ever happened to my family. He came into my life when I was 13 years old, and I I love that Scott put him in the book because he is a veteran and he served with honor. He has a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart from his efforts in Vietnam as an enlisted soldier. And I love him to death. And I'm super glad he's in the crypt.
So I can tell you guys, spoiler alert, no matter what happens in the crypt, Jake Rudolsky
Good.
and his big blue ass not gonna die. That's the only one. That's the only one. Everybody else on that ship, fuck them.
The dogs don't die and the dad doesn't die. And
No,
that's it.
but did you realize that when I did Behind Blue Eyes, I broke that rule? Dogs died in Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah, but not the dog.
No, yes, not
the dog.
Dog. Don Shipley says, I still haven't finished the Leviathan Chronicles.
Yeah.
They've got so much new stuff, and Christoph is just such a hard-working guy. And he's a good boss, finds talent, pays talent, makes great things. And I don't know exactly where that show is going because I haven't listened for a season or two myself.
I think Leviathan is done.
Well, Leviathan might be done, but there's all the spin-offs.
Yeah.
And Vinios, etc. AK Mike says, off the top of your head, how many Girthons would you estimate the new GFL will be? That's a very good question, Mike.
Girthons.
That's a fucking deep cut, and I like it a lot, which is good because this is deep cuts. I think we settled on a Girthon being about 150,000 words. So GFL...
No, a Girthon is probably 175,000 words.
175?
150,000 words is a normal.
That's a normal. I think GFL 7 will be 7/8 of a Girthon. We're going back to fucking old time England measurements. It's 7 3/4 of a Girthon, you fool, you peasant.
Hey, you know how much you love Sean Dyer?
Yeah.
Read his recent comment.
Sean answers AK Mike saying, would that be before or after the split? Before the split, it's a double Girthon. It's 1.2 and a 1/8 Girthon, son. You have to bring 2 geese, 1 duck, and 7 eggs. Not 12, 7 eggs, a half dozen plus 1, and that is how many words it is. Good night, Christine. Yeah. GFL is not going to be 15 bucks, Christine.
Sleep. You need it for tax season. So
damn your eyes.
Get some sleep.
All right. So I think that about does it for us. Are there any questions we missed in the chat room?
Dawn, that's so nice of you to say. I'm totally showing my dad that comment. He is absolutely a badass.
Yeah, I think we're good. I'm going to go hang out with my gorgeous, awesome, brilliant, hot wife right now and our pups. And
maybe play some video games.
But I have a show coming up this Saturday. If you guys want to, if you're in the San Diego area, the greater San Diego area, go to Super Weapon Band. Go to superweaponband.com. It will be at McGuffey's Live, a live rock and roll establishment where they cook food in the parking lot, and it's goddamn delicious.
So if you guys are going to be joining the Sigler Junkies Happy Hour this Saturday, Scott has a gig, so I won't be home. He won't be home. We won't be on that stream. I will probably see if I can share some pics with Steve so that he can share them with you guys, or share some videos with you guys so that he can share them directly.
All right. So you are all great. We're going to get this uploaded so Steve get to work on it. And that's about it. We'll be back next episode. Oh, we stopped recording.
We did.
I do this day all the time. So we'll be back next week. Like, you can't say week when it's in a podcast. People listen to it 6 months from now. Woman. So, but this is over. So you can say, go ahead and say, we'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week.
With our take on heated rivalry.
On the show Heated Rivalry, episode 1.
Yes. What we're also going to do is we're pretty much only going to talk about episode 1 or seasons as a whole. For example, as a huge Shoresy fan, Shoresy season 5, we're out right now. We're just going to be able to try and talk about, Hayden says, where can I rewatch this? Jumped on way late. Well, you're on Facebook right now, Hayden. So all you got to do is when you get time, come back to Facebook, facebook.com/Scott Sigler. Scroll down the feed. You will see this episode right here. And this episode is titled, Where Do We Go From Here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go now from here?
Okay. Bye, Scott Skibbity Rizzler Coolio. I'm calling him that the rest of the day for sure. if not the rest of the
Fuck
week.
off, Martin. God damn it. You guys go watch Skibbity Toilet. Jesus, swear to God. But I would advise whatever intoxicant is your preference, take all of it. All that you have in the house before you watch this. But do
I didn't ask for some of the bacon.
keep 911 on speed dial if you take all
Ask
that
for
much.
all the bacon.
Bumble says you should do a stream talking about Perry Dossie totally differently. Yeah, we're going to talk about anything you guys want to see, though. You know the deal. Send it to info@mset.com. Email it to info@mset.com. We will keep a list of things to talk about. If there's not a current hot button issue in the world of sports, we'll grab one of these, jump on the mic, and everything you saw tonight, completely winging it. Everything was off the top of our head. No script, no plan, no plot. We're just throwing it out there.
And the equipment worked
Thank you,
perfectly.
Mr. Moore. Yeah,
when he works really, really hard on the entire cast and the script and the fiction, and does a dress rehearsal, everything craps out right before we start. When we're just winging it.
Apparently. Yes, Kim, this does save our ass time.
So
I think
much
Kim
time.
was in and out. Just come back and watch the whole thing. But this,
Saves us a ton of time.
here's the other thing. We're almost done. But here's the other thing is like, I'm not going to lie. I am the most modest person you will ever meet in the entire world. There is no one more humble or self-effacing than me. We're fucking good at this shit. A and I are fucking really good at chit-chatting about entertaining, fun things. Dare I might say, I'm in the top two percentile.
In this room?
No,
Oh.
in the world.
Oh.
In the world. In the
Okay.
history of mankind. P.T. Barnum shit, motherfucker. That's right. A whole fucking circus going on in this head. Fucker.
I definitely believe that last thing.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see you guys next week. We love
I
you.
got a little off script. Raphael says, go Lions. That's right, Raphael. Raphael.
But not fucking
David Montgomery. Knuckles is no longer a Lion. I have been sad for 2 days. There's all kinds of bullshit going on in the world. People are dying. Things are terrible. That's depressing, right? Those are depressing things. Fucking Monty leaving. Even right now,
It's a bummer.
I am sad. I understand all the parties involved. I understand he needed to go somewhere that he was the number one guy. He should be the number one guy. He's a great dude. He's a great player. It's fucking, my heart is broken, dude.
I know.
My fucking heart is
Here's
broken.
the thing. I hope he gets what he wants because he is a great player and a great guy. I also think the magic might not follow him.
Well, we will see.
Because I
will
think
see.
there might have been magic in the moment. You know?
But I really do wish he was coming back next year. But anyways, you guys are fucking awesome. Come back next week. You're going to see more of this bonkersness, off the cuff, extemporaneous. Right? I should fucking write for a living. I know words and shit. Yeah, motherfucker.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Goodbye. Love ya. Bye.
Well, that's a hell of a lot more fun.
Don't